AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio with me, Astrologer Shelley Overton. Each week we go over the planetary positions, discuss astrology, and take callers' questions. If you would like to call in and get a reading, you can call 347-994-3365. Call in early as the lines fill up. This is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and it's wonderful to have you here. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show on Blog Talk Radio. It is a cold and wet day today. It's raining all day long. I've got 3 cats in the house, and my eyes itch. I'm not going to kid. But it's 57 degrees. 57 in beautiful Disneyville here. Anyway, we are going to have a good show today. We have got Mercury. Have you been feeling Mercury? I have. It's been kind of a pain in the butt, actually. So today Mercury is retrograde at 19 degrees in Pisces. He is surrounded by a 28-degree Pisces moon, which goes into Aries tomorrow. And I'm about 48 hours away from my daughter turning 18. Happy birthday! She just walked in the other room. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that and also a little leery at the same time. It's like, 18, how does this happen? Anyway, I guess I'm kind of going through a bit of empty nest syndrome a little bit. Anyway, so Mercury retrograde, and he's also 3 degrees away from Neptune today, and Neptune's at 16 Pisces. So I don't know about you, but boy, I have been feeling this, and I may have mentioned it last week, all the things going on, but it's just been a lot. It's a lot of emotional stuff, a lot of old stories coming back in, and I don't know if I have a friend. I have a friend in Denver who called me. His name is Kelly. And he is obviously Irish, but he called me for St. Patrick's Day. I haven't had a chance to contact him back, but say, hey, Kelly, if you're listening, happy St. Patrick's Day. So, yeah, Mercury has been screwing up electronics. I've got a string of lights that I keep in my living room. I watch them flicker out. I have a light bulb, and I think I mentioned this last week, I don't know, in a cabinet that I use as an altar. It went out. My air conditioning in my car went out. Just a lot of electrical glitches. I have a friend who is also experiencing anomalies with email, which I have also had this Mercury retrograde. Facebook, I mentioned to her also, Facebook's been having its issues. Tech has been having its issues. Facebook, when I think it was either the initial offering of Facebook was 2 days after Venus went retrograde in Gemini. And so, of course, Venus rules money, and it answers to Gemini, whose ruler is Mercury. So every Mercury retrogrades, Facebook has issues. This is no exception. So, yeah, you can see that happening as well. And I don't know, people are finally getting the message that Mercury retrograde does have a significant effect on the masses. So, I think I mentioned this last week, but because the whole show is Mercury retrograde, I know I made it Mercury retrograde for a reason, because it was just so much stuff going on with tech and, like the Mercury square Jupiter definitely affected transportation, and we had an airline disaster this past week, which I looked at that chart. Actually, the moon was at like the last degree of Aries in the first house. So just in the first house at 28 or 29 degrees Aries, which is the ending of something, a void of course moon, something that won't complete. So, and that I'm just going to sidetrack for a second here. That may bring up the idea of like, well, many airplanes took off around that time. Why was that one the one that had something happen? It is a cumulative energy, and that means that it's more than one thing, and that there are multiple circumstances that can come together, including where the plane takes off from. And I would also throw in the pilot's personal chart at the same time. Definitely the pilot could be affected by planetary positions to whether or not he was aware of any information he needed to be aware of, aligning with the vehicle that was not particularly in a good alignment for going where it needed to go, because they've said on the radio and other media that there were other issues with the plane, which is why they've all been grounded. The fleet was grounded. That's another thing. Mercury squared Jupiter. Mercury is still squaring Jupiter right now because we go by an 8-degree orb, means 8 degrees on either side of the degree that these planets are at will be considered a conjunction, a square, a sextile, or a trine, or an opposition. So the two planets, Mercury at 9 Pisces and Jupiter at 23 Sagittarius, are squaring each other. And so that Mercury rules short distance travel in general, and also thought and communications. And it squares and small technology as well, like phones and computers, laptops, things like that. And Jupiter rules transportation. I always assign Jupiter to airline travel because it is long distance travel. And it so connects people at long distances. So it's just always airlines. The other thing is, with this square, Jupiter rules higher education, Mercury rules lower education. So we just also had the students protesting this past week, and the climate change and everything like that. So it is a significant energy right now for more global energy and things happening that affect the masses, especially having Mercury conjunct the Sun and Neptune. Well, actually, he's not exactly conjunct the Sun. They're in the same sign. He was a little while ago, but he is conjunct Neptune, and Neptune is a very significant energy for large mass emotional events. And so we've had it was a tsunami or a typhoon, monsoon. That's what they have so many names for it. A monsoon that happened, I believe, in Indonesia, and it's already taken like 1,000 people at this point. So weather is also affected under Mercury in Pisces, and conjunct Neptune rules large quantities of water. The Midwest right now is having flooding. And so it really, and I do want to address that. When you see the effects of the planets, they are inclined to make things happen, but there is also free will in this world, and where it comes out definitely is a matter of what energy is interacting and mingling with it. So, we could all have Mercury, well, we all do have Mercury in a position in the zodiac, but is it in cooperation or is it in opposition? I can tell you right now, it's not directly in opposition to my Mercury. It is in opposition by sign. I have Mercury in Virgo, but it is exactly opposite my Sun. And when it's opposite your Sun, that means that you're not feeling heard. Your ego can be affected. The things that, especially now, Sun in Virgo, anyone with the Sun in Virgo in the mid-range, the middle degrees, like say from 13 through 25, 26, are going to feel this strong energy. Definitely the people who were born around the mid-1960s had Uranus-Pluto conjunction around that degree. And so feeling also, and it means because it's in the end sign and was starting at the end degrees, then it's wrapping up an old story. So whatever emotionalism, whatever sentimentality you have about something, it is affected right now. It's going to be a significant storyline for you. So you want to look at which house it's in. It will affect you in whatever house it falls into. Personally, I have it kind of straddling my house of home family and my house of children. And the storyline is that my daughter is really sensitive right now to the energies, and she's getting a bit emotional for a confluence of about 5 different stress aspects going on, or stress energies, not even aspects in the chart, but she does have Mars in Sagittarius and squaring all this, and she's got Jupiter triggering her Mars. So she's been going through her own personal stress right now, a lot of it related to graduating and getting into college. But, that's the energy right now. So it is about emotions. It's about the past, bringing the story from the past into the present. It is an archivist's energy. It rules genealogy, filmmaking, photography, and memorizing things in the body. It relates to the feet. It affects artists. It definitely affects poets and anybody expressing themselves through an artistic endeavor, because Mercury is the planet of expression. It's how we think. We are probably losing our thoughts rapidly. In other words, we come up with an idea and we can't hold on to it. It's like, well, I just think, I seriously, this is so sad. I actually lost my thought in the middle of the sentence. Like, how do you lose a thought in the middle of a sentence? You have Mercury opposite your Mercury. That's how. So it's pretty intense, and it is the end of a story. So we are going to see people who are no longer wanting to stay here, or who have a previous agreement on a larger metaphysical scale, who just are no longer going to stick around. So honestly, just a really intense aspect. And I looked at the rest of the year. We are going to have all Mercury retrograde in Water this year. The next one is Leo Cancer, and we end the year with Scorpio. So I wish I could say it was going to be a less emotional year, a less stressful year, but with end Mercury retrogrades in water signs, it's going to be a very emotional year. We are also wrapping up some stories around retrogrades. Well, Jupiter does it every year. Jupiter retrograde this year from April through August. And so he's going to bring up stories also about religion. We're going to be going back over our views on the church, on religion, on musicians. This is Michael Jackson energy, or R. Kelly energy, and the Catholic Church are all feeling it this year, because it's about spirituality. It's about the collective spiritual consciousness. It's about musicians. It's about travel. This is a year, I mean, if you look back, we've had stories in the news about major musicians, about the Catholic Church and what's been going on there, and about travel and airlines and foreign culture, immigrants. It's all Jupiter. So Jupiter goes into Capricorn the end of the year, and that's going to bring the story back to the government, to governmental systems, to transportation structures. I'm telling you, Orlando is like, it's looking fluorescent orange with all the construction around here. And we are seriously outgrowing our seams at this point. I just read today in the news online that Orlando is the worst for low-cost, low-income housing in the country. And that doesn't surprise me, because I also, like I said last week, I'm going to be looking for my own place. And I don't know. I know the further out you go, the better the prices. And that's typically with me. The farther away from traffic and the cluster of people, the better off I'll be, because I'm just way too sensitive to it. But I do want to be somewhat close to places I need to go to, like grocery stores and occasional shopping outings. Anyway, so what else is going on in the zodiac? We have a trine between Mars and Pluto today, so that's really interesting. It is considered a positive aspect, and if you listen to the show, you know that I always say trines come with a difficult energy at times. There can be events that are associated with it. It's an earth energy, so we've got Capricorn and Taurus, and that can be major changes, or I don't want to say literal bombs, but definite energetic bombs going off around systems and structures. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some new revelations in the news today about government people, about I think Biden was considering running. That's a possibility. I honestly would never announce I'm running for president under a Mercury retrograde in Pisces, but stranger things have happened. Obama actually announced, I think both of the times, he was a candidate under a void course moon. But I believe he has that in his chart, and it actually worked for him. So I can tell you, though, Mercury in a retrograde, in an end sign, probably not a good time to announce candidacy, which Orc did. But Pluto is hidden energy. It is mafia, and there may be something coming out from that right now. I'm looking at the chart when I started the show. I do a chart every week for when the show starts, and Pluto right now in Orlando anyway is in the 8th house, so it rules the 8th house, which is the hidden agendas. And it's in Capricorn, which is government workers, elderly, systems, structures, physicality. It rules the skeleton. And I know I was thinking it, but I don't know if I said it. Pisces rules the feet. So you may have foot issues right now with the Mercury retrograde, or right now my feet are doing pretty good, actually. I usually feel it, but this time I'm not, thankfully. I have been feeling some energy in my bones when Uranus went into Taurus. It triggered that earth energy, and definitely I felt my bones and my joints feel a little bit achy, more so after that energy shifted. And then Mars is action. Pluto is the hidden and research. It rules the law, lawyers. So we could see something coming up. I mean, we've been seeing issues, obviously, in the news around subpoenas, legalities, but Mars is action, and it's a direct hit right now. So there will be something going on, and it is the elderly, so there may be something coming up with older people. And Saturn is only 3 degrees away from a conjunction to Pluto. Of course, Saturn does go retrograde. I'm just going to look him up real quick here. I honestly don't remember when he goes retrograde, but it's coming up in the summer. So he goes the last day of April. So he's already in the shadow period, as is Jupiter. Jupiter retrogrades April 10th. Around, I'm looking at the table. I'm not looking at the date. They always put the retrograde on the whole day on this table, which is an ephemeris, for those of you who are just joining me and don't know. But yeah, so retrograde periods are coming up. This is a time for the major outer planets when they usually go retrograde. So we'll see Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus all retrograding over the summer. And it's been some with them direct, but we are coming into the time of year when they do go retrograde. So April is going to be a pretty big time for that. Jupiter retrograde, he will act a bit more like Saturn. So definitely the 11th or the week of the 11th, look for more awakening from kind of this lesser interest in those around us, and it shifts from more self-interest to collective interest, or having to take ownership, because Jupiter is a very happy-go-lucky energy. Wherever it falls in our chart, we just kind of go with the flow and don't question things too much. But when Jupiter goes retrograde, he acts more like Saturn. He grounds the energy, and it becomes a bit like a slap in the face for those of us. Fat, dumb, and happy is the phrase that came to mind. So yeah, we're going to see a definite shift in the second week of April, and there will be something coming up into our awareness. It usually means a sex scandal, so look for that. We already had one of those this year with, I don't know if you heard about it, one of the big contributors to the Republican Party into the Trump campaign was at Mar-a-Lago, or somewhere down in Palm Beach. I want to say one of the most recent holidays, and can't remember which one it was. Wasn't St. Patrick's Day, it was the one before that. So anyway, she was down there and took pictures with Trump, and it turned out that she was a madam, or I take it back, that was totally not what it was. She owned the business that ultimately the guy who runs, the owner of the Patriots, he got arrested for a massage parlor connection, and she ran it and had a picture with Trump. Anyway, there was this whole thing with her and with that whole scandal down in Florida. Not surprising. Florida always has its share. So anyway, you know what I'm going to do? I've got a few people in line, and I really want to get to you all. And I would say if you want a reading, call in 347-994-3365. And I'm going to take callers a little bit early. The last thing I'm going to say is the moon is in Virgo today, opposite Neptune, and will be opposite Mercury by the end of the day. And so moon is usually emotion or sentiment around family and home. But in Virgo, it can be a little bit prickly and much more driven towards work and feeling like getting things done. So if you feel like you need to get things done, that's probably why. But Virgo, of course, the ruler is Mercury. So today the moon is answering to retrograde Mercury. So it's going to kind of accent that energy around healing and awareness of children, awareness of educators, and that whole energy. It also means that later in the day when the moon gets farther along, it will come into Jupiter. So there is even more energy around education, students, teachers, and things like that today. And again, it's opposing Neptune and Mercury. So I'm hoping that that won't mean there will be other major newsworthy events, but I will not hold my breath. But definitely Mercury has a way of having accidents as well. So I've been saying this to everybody. I wrote a blog about Mercury retrograde. So if you have Angelic Zodiac, that's where it's at. And so you could even more. I don't know if you need to read more, but there it is. If you want to, it's pretty lengthy. Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of energy on this axis still for the next couple days being triggered by that whole dynamic. And let me see. So, yeah, I think that's fairly well it. Mars is aggression. Pluto is even more like it can be warlike energy, even though it's a trine Pluto to Mars, because it is combining two energies that rule battle. And so there may be an ideological battle going on, or there could be threat of some kind of event. But that's Moon in Virgo also, which rules the military. So if you're looking for the news, there may be some kind of connection to the military in it in the next couple days as well. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and take calls. So here we go. Hi, this is Shelley Overton, the host of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. Each week, I bring you lots of information about planetary transits, what to expect in the coming week, and take questions from listeners. If you are interested in donating to continue the benefit of learning all about the planets and astrology, you can do so at my new Patreon page. You can find it at www.patreon.com/AstroShelley. That is patreon.com/AstroShelley. Please don't feel any obligation, but I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for listening. I think you on the moon. Anyway, let's come back. I am back from break. This is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and we're listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. So welcome back. If you would like a read from me privately, you can get me at angeliczodiac.com. So let's see who we have on the line. Vaughn?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Vaughn. How are you?
I'm
Did I
great.
just blow your ear off?
Thank you. No, ma'am.
What can I?
Never that.
Yeah. What time? I don't know what I'm saying. How are you? Is what
I am greater than great. How about yourself?
I'm doing really well. What can I do for you today?
I just called in. I got the invite on Facebook. I check in every now and
Cool.
again.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing with all this Mercury energy? It's hitting your house of the children and work. What were you going to say?
Well, I actually didn't know it was a Mercury retrograde until I called.
Oh, my goodness. So you're probably okay with everything. If you don't know, then you're probably just going, oh, that's just another day.
Right. Well, I, to be honest with you, I've always enjoyed Mercury retrograde. There's only one that kind of hit me kind of sideways once.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Really?
right about the time I started calling into the show, back in 16.
Mm-hmm.
That's when that's the first
Oh, my
time
gosh.
people was like, man, you close to Sirius, is this happening? You know what I'm saying? Those type of things. But I've come to learn that Mercury retrograde only bothers you or puts you off if there's some area in your life that you need to be, direct your attention different from. You know what I'm saying? Or you do a different focus,
Right.
or change up stuff of that nature.
Yeah, so is it affecting you? I mean, like with your children, that's where it's kind of falling for you right there over the cusp between work and children. Have you been having anything with that? Yeah, it's okay if you're not. I mean, that's awesome if you're not.
No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But my
cool.
The work is good, but work to me is not necessarily the job. It's more the writing. You know what I'm saying? I got a book coming out in a couple of months.
That's awesome.
And I had other stuff writing. I'm writing more now, researching better. I mean, I just got that place where, to me, when I first learned about a Mercury retrograde is when I first got into astrology a few years ago. And at first it was like, it's like the gentleman was telling me, I would just take this vacation. And it seemed I actually needed to take that vacation. But I see it as not as a vacation, but a open spot to stop doing so much. Sit yourself down, and let's get this going right. You know what I mean? So I'm just in that good space right now. Actually,
that's awesome.
A couple things happen with the job I got now. Like I'm supposed to be working, but you can do it every other weekend, and it just falls in place for me. Matter of fact,
that's
the last
marvelous.
time I talked to you, the last time I spoke to you, I remember having a whole lot. I think I actually told you everything that I actually had planned fell through. But the way it fell through, everything lined up perfectly.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been saying. It's like,
say, why? Yeah, so why?
It's not falling apart; it's falling together.
Yeah, so I'm like, I learned to relax. This thing just go, things just feel right in place as they should.
Yeah. Well, you have also a trine with your Neptunes. The transiting and the natal Neptune are in trine right now for you, which is really awesome.
Sweet. What does that entail, though?
Well, Neptune is your dreams. And so, Neptune is triggering. It's within 5 degrees of your work house. You've got Sun in work house right now. And Mercury was there briefly, and now it's back to the house of your children, joining up with Neptune. But it is kind of like you said, like it's just pay attention to what needs to change. And so there may be something that has to shift a little bit in how you think of things. But the faith, that is really what Pisces wants us to do, is have faith.
Right.
And that's kind of where it is for you. Yeah, it's just like, I can't control it, so I'm just going to go with it. And that's really a big Piscean lesson.
Yeah,
so,
that's pretty much where I'm at in life. Pretty much. Yeah.
So
that's
are you thinking of moving?
No, that was about to be a thing, but that seems like that's not the thing now.
Okay.
So it would have been my idea to do it anyway.
Okay.
With somebody else, so that fell through.
Okay, well, you will probably have, if you don't do it throughout the course of the year, I tell you, Saturn only has about one more degree before it retrogrades, and it's within 3 degrees of the cusp of home and family. So I'm guessing you're probably going to be moving by January of next year. That's coming.
By January of next year? Yeah,
yeah,
more than likely.
Yeah, because the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is right on your home and family house. It means major change around, and that also is like the culmination of your book. So, that's going to have a definite something to do with, may have more money to actually put into something else too.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Jupiter goes into Capricorn in your house of communications and writing at the end of the year. So,
really?
Yeah, and it'll join up with Capricorn in that house. So, it is about like having the credibility and the structure associated with writing, and it's fortune. So, it's like you're going to be really. I mean, what I see, and I got chilled this, is there is definitely a connection to durability and lasting qualities about whatever you do at the end of the year.
Right.
Because that's what Capricorn does. It makes things last as a permanent situation or a permanent change, because Saturn-Pluto conjunct means change. So there will be a permanent change, but there will also be something that is that will be more permanent with Jupiter saying, hey, this has to be now, and that's going to be more long-lasting as well, fortune-wise. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. Jupiter and Capricorn can be really good as far as, like I said, bringing in something positive and not always, I think of Capricorn and Saturn as like, oh, man, it's so difficult. It's restriction. It's, all that stuff that we're always fighting against. And, Jupiter is, oh, well, it's a shame that we have to get used to it, right? But anyway, yeah. I got Saturn retrograded in my I got Saturn retrograded in my natal chart. In your house of work in Aries, yes. Yeah, it is retrograde. So
I felt it a few times once I figured out what it was.
Yeah, it's retrograde in mine too, almost like 30 degrees off of yours. Mine's at 0 Pisces. So when mine retrogrades by progression, it's at like 27 Aquarius right now. And, by progression, it only 2 years ago it went direct, because 52 days after I was born, Saturn went direct. So it took me till I was 52 for it to go direct. It's like, wow, this is a long time. But yeah, so now it's going direct and now more cooperative as opposed to, pulling back and making me look at the past. I actually can look at the future. So that's probably close for you as well. I wouldn't be surprised if you're kind of into that same vibe because, you were born only 3 years after I was in the same time of year with a retrograde also. So it's probably very close to going direct in your chart by progression. So that'll open up your career as well, and it sounds like it already is.
Yeah. I'll tell you that story another time, though. I know you got a lot of people on the line that you want to get to.
I do.
And I got a copy of the book with your name on it. Don't even worry about trying to buy it. I'm gonna send it to you.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's very cool. All right, Yvonne.
Yes,
it was wonderful talking to you again. Thanks for the call.
Always a pleasure, man.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's take 561. Hi, 561. Who is this?
Hi, this is Stacy.
Hi, Stacy. I thought it might be you. I put that name up there. I think that's Stacy. So what can I do for you, Stacy?
Just give me a rundown of what's going on. I'm sorry about the noise. I'm driving in the rain.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Give you a rundown. Well, you've got Saturn first, which probably, when's the last time we talked?
Probably January or so, or December.
Okay, so a little while ago, but maybe 3 or 4 months. So Saturn is now in your first house, and I think it was on your Jupiter last time we talked, probably. So it was having to really make some changes, and now that has gone into your first house. And like I said, with Vaughn, it's within 3 degrees of Pluto in your first house. So it is this year or the next probably 15, 16 months, year and a half of complete shift change with how you see yourself and what you're willing to put up with also. Yeah, and it relates to the structure of family and the patriarchal figure in your life that you kind of held up to a standard as this is what I want to be like. So that's shifting. Like you're starting to realize that some of the dog that you have isn't suiting you anymore. The belief systems are changing. It's okay if they change. The universe wants you to change so that you are more in alignment with the direction you're heading, which is less about being there for everyone else and more being about there for yourself. And let's see what else we have here. Mars just got out of your house of home and family and went into children. And so that may mean that there's some money. You have children? Did that help you? Stacy, are you there? Oh, I think we dropped Stacy. Oh no. Well, I tell you what, we'll put. Oh, there. Oh, there you are. Yeah, I hear you.
I just muted myself so you didn't hear all that noise.
Oh, okay. I was asking you if you have children. I didn't hear if you had children.
Yes, I have a daughter.
Okay. Well, there's going to be some attention paid to your daughter. Mars is going to be in your house of children. Let's just see. I want to say about a month. Yeah, it goes into. Let's see, 17th. Yeah, the end of April. So you'll have Mars really triggering creativity, romance, money from those things, and also children. So Uranus is now on top of your moon, and that's in home and family. So what looks like to me is that, I mean, I don't know if your daughter is going off to college or if she's at that age, but there's definitely a breaking away from the old restrictions around children and around family, the structure of family. Definitely Uranus on your moon in Taurus house of family is like, I need my freedom. I don't necessarily want to focus 100% on all the requirements of being a mom right now, that you're really going through a rift around independence and autonomy around that. And leaving the house of family and children means that the focus may be on children, but definitely a freedom from the family structure, which tells me that there may be movement away from that family unit of a child, because that's what Mars can do when it exits that house. Okay? Is that true or no?
That's true. She's in the military, so yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Trying to gain independence.
Okay, there you go. And then let's see what else. So you've got Venus now just in your house of money, and it's in Aquarius. So again, Venus, children, females, Aquarius, it's in the house that Venus rules. So it does tend to focus feminine energy on more independence and personal power, which is what Aquarius is. And even though Aquarius is a masculine energy, I don't know if anybody listens and remembers me saying this, but going around the zodiac, you alternate signs as to masculine and feminine. So it's Aries masculine, Taurus feminine, Gemini masculine, Cancer feminine, and so on around the zodiac. So there is an association with Aquarius masculinity, and Venus being obviously feminine in the masculine sign means that she's going to gain of a male point of view for how she expresses. So there is power is a focused lesson of Aquarius, and so it is about females gaining personal power, accent even more throughout this month as Venus goes through Aquarius, and that's in your money house. So it is entrepreneurship and gaining money from multiple sources, different endeavors, and it can also be through tech, which it's science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, and that's all under Aquarius as well. So there's more of that technological energy coming in for you around desires and what you want to do and how you can make money. It can definitely be kind of another wake-up call of independence and autonomy around getting your own cash. And then it can also be a cleaning of your finances. So that's what Aquarius likes to do, especially end degrees of Capricorn and moving into Aquarius is like, okay, the old is done. We're wrapping up this story of the old energy and the old systems, and now we want to get that out and have fresh new air coming into things and lightening up the energy, which is what Aquarius likes to do. So looking into your finances and getting rid of situations that are not in your best interest right now is also going to be highlighted. Okay, and you have Moon in your house of joint finances in Virgo as well, so it makes you very meticulous. So this would probably be a really good time to start your taxes. And I would say those of you doing taxes, which is all of us, try and aim for N degrees of Moon when you submit it, so that it's like a void, of course, and there won't be any coming back going, wait a minute, let's check this out. If you wait till the N degrees of a Moon to submit, that'll be more beneficial. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did that answer what you wanted to know?
Yes, it did.
Okay, good deal. All right, well, you take care and drive safe in the rain.
I will. Thank you. You too.
Okay,
Bye.
You're welcome. Thanks. Bye. Okay, let's talk to, 561. Hi, 561. How are you?
Hey, Shelley, this is James from Miami. Hey.
Hey, James from Miami. Guess what? That was just who I talked to. Stacy's the same area code, so she's in Miami too.
I figured as much, and she said it was raining. And
Rain.
It's raining.
Yeah, it's raining here too. My goodness.
It is raining.
So funny.
Oh my gosh.
Both calling.
Yeah. You know
How
what?
You been?
I'm going to tell you something really
good.
funny. So yesterday, I came into work, and we couldn't go to work because the entire building, the power was out for the whole building. And so FPL came, and they circled the building for hours trying to find a transformer because it was in an older structure that was torn down in 14. So they couldn't find where. So we all got a free day off.
Oh my goodness! Well, you turned that Mercury retrograde into positive. That's cool. Oh my gosh! Yeah. Well, you know what? Because you have Neptune on your midheaven, or fairly close. You know, a wide conjunction. You have it 8 degrees off your midheaven. And that's ideal situations. And then Mercury is going back towards Neptune. So it can mean that we are trying to look at that ideal, that ultimate vision of something. And for you, it's your career. So that's being affected. And you just said it was your work environment as well, which you have Uranus in your work environment conjunct. Let me see. Yeah, you're conjunct to Jupiter. So your natal Uranus and Jupiter are almost in the same degree. So you've got that square going on, so that's probably part of the energy. Well, Uranus rules electrical grids, so there's definitely something going on with that. You know what? You've said a lot of rains happening there. I'm wondering if the outage had to do with water getting into the system. I know you said transformer, but I'm guessing there's some extra water, and I know Miami's also kind of getting a little swamped on edges, like down by Homestead and everything, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a shame.
And we're right. Our office is literally right on a marina, so yes.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. There's probably, I would say definitely some water issues going on with the electrical for you.
Time.
So, did you have a question for me?
I am wondering, I don't know if you've looked at this before or not, I cannot remember, but I wanted to know if you could look into the compatibility of me and this young lady.
Sure. Let me see. I don't know. Have you mentioned her before?
I'm not even sure.
I don't.
But,
wait a minute. Let me see if it's July 1st. Is that her?
No, May 4th.
Okay, May 4th. Okay, well, let me just quick create a new card here for you, and then we can look at it. Give me a second. Okay. And does she have a first name?
Yes. I'm going to say initial S.
You can make it up. S. Okay.
Oh, yes. S.
Okay. S or F? F is in Frank, or S is in, Sally, or I should say Francis.
Sally. Yeah.
Sally. Okay.
Sally.
And I know, isn't that silly? Silly Sally. What is the birth date or the birth information?
It is May 4th, 1999.
Okay. 1999.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So she's
big age difference.
Yeah, she's like 20. Yeah, she'll be 20 soon.
20.
Okay, gotcha. No, I'm sorry. Like, I'm so used to it being like
no.
so much like later. But anyway, and I'm like,
No.
wow, okay. No, it's no judgment. It's so weird to hear that as like a viable number. My son is right around, so it's like, wow, that's like an adult now. Do you know what time?
No. She is not sure. She thinks it's 8:30.
Okay.
She's not sure.
8:30 p.m. or a.m. Do you know?
A.m. in the morning.
Okay. And was she born?
Miami.
Okay. Awesome.
So we have an age difference and a cultural difference because she's Cuban and I'm African American.
Yeah, I picked up on that. I was actually going to say, is she Hispanic? I picked up on that.
Yes.
Like, she is what I'm feeling. So how wild. Thank you for validating that because I'm like, I think that there's something Hispanic about her. And yep. Okay. Hang on a second. I'm just trying to find your chart. Where'd I go? There it is. Okay, great. Okay, I'm just double checking that I have all the right dates. You know, that's not too bad. I've actually dated with up to 17-year difference between me and other people, so I have zero judgment. Trust me.
This one was out of the blue. I was like, holy hell, let's see.
Well, yeah, I can see why you have similar. Well, her Jupiter is right on your Venus and your Mercury, and her Mercury is within a couple degrees of your Mercury-Venus conjunction. So, yeah, and Jupiter on your Sun or near your Sun. So that's really, there's electrical sexual attraction, I want to say, and it is around the career and your social group associated with career, which is the 11th house. So networking and people you know from your career. And her Saturn is on your Mars and her Sun is on your Mars. Sun on Mars is really good. Saturn on Mars means that there is staying power. The only caution I see with this initially is that there's a lot of friendship in the chart. And it may be, there may be kind of like a friend zone energy at some point, but you do have her Mars on your Pluto, which is a major change. So your Pluto is where you see a lot of change in your life, and for you it falls in the house of romance, creativity, and children. So wherever our Pluto is can be like those little, well, not little, I was going to say little bombs, but major life changes coming into our world that shift our direction instantaneously. And her Mars is right there and it's in the sign of Scorpio. So it's a very deep, passionate connection. It's like she definitely takes action where you would want to see it. So your passion, your integrity, your sense of justice is triggered by her because she is actually manifesting and taking action towards the things that really matter to you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
Totally.
And then let's see. So she also has Pluto in Sag, and you have Uranus in Sagittarius, which is power. It's like Pluto is power of understanding on a subtle, deeper level. In Sagittarius, it can be more about feeling passion for travel. And you have Uranus in Sagittarius, and that also involves that higher understanding of travel and other cultures. And so there is a power, like a generational dynamic, I want to say, coming in under that. And then her Saturn is in your house, or no, excuse me, your Saturn is in your house of work. Where's her Saturn? Her Saturn, I already said that's up in the house of friendship and money from career and soul groups. So she is attracted to your energy, and it's like her career is built around the things that you are driven to express, if that makes sense. So in other words, your male drive, is that true? Your male drive,
yes.
And it's Mars, so it's masculine drive, but it's also ambition, and it's for anybody. It can be ambition for anybody. And it's in Taurus, which means there's a definite drive to make money from career and have that stability of finances. And she has Saturn in Taurus, which means that's part of her life purpose is to be in the financial end of things or make money. She likes to make money. So I'm going to swap your charts real quick. And that energy for her, if she has an 8:30 a.m. rough time, falls into her subconscious. So subconsciously, there's definitely an attraction, I would say. Yeah, like you, like are almost like when she's looking at someone who knows what they're doing and what she sees as her life purpose, you express that. And it's subliminal for her on some level because it falls in her 12th house. So she's drawn to something about you. And because it's her Saturn and your Mars, she can be really a stable or stabilizing force for you as well. That being said, the Jupiter in Aquarius that you have is right between her Neptune-Uranus in Aquarius. So there is this energy of higher understanding and channeling, and you really, like, you kind of may gloss over things that she has a deeper understanding of, okay? Because, again, Jupiter can be a bit superficial. It's almost as if you understand things. Like you called my show. It's, you know, Aquarius rules astrology. Right. And so you call my show, and it's almost like, okay, I'm going to check in on astrology. But it isn't like you are always thinking night and day about astrology. But she has Neptune-Uranus in Aquarius, which means she does think deeper about connections in the universe in a humanitarian sense, how we all collectively relate, and that's part of her generation. Okay, she came in with that Neptune-Uranus conjunction, or hers isn't exactly conjunct anymore, but they are in the same sign. There are 12 degrees apart. So they're still fairly close. And so she came in with this generational understanding of expansion and awareness of alternative lifestyles and alternative structures, and much more of a loving embrace of all types of people. So she can really express that universal love, and you have Jupiter in Aquarius, which is 6 degrees off her Uranus. So the two of you together can really express this love of freedom, a love of travel, an understanding of higher things that people may not really be engaged in yet. But I can tell you, come and next year and into 2022, let me see, was 2020 and 2021, Saturn in Aquarius will trigger that. And there's definitely a growth energy for your charts around understanding a broader connection to the collective. The last thing I see is her Neptune falls in your house of commitment. And so there is kind of for you with Jupiter in Aquarius with the last degrees of commitment, a little bit of a commitment phobe. Not going to lie. You also have Gemini in the first. So it's like multiple, like throwing out the energy everywhere, see what sticks. You have Saturn in Scorpio, which can be very engaged and passionate, and you're very dogmatic about work and very, like, you will fight for justice for the people around you in your work environment. But when it comes to commitment, you're a little bit more skittish. Her Neptune falls right on your Jupiter, which means, like, you have this love of other cultures and understanding them, and she's like an ideal for you with that, okay? So I would say, I'm just trying to see where planets are right now. Yeah, and I haven't brought in what's going on right now. What's going on right now is Saturn falls right on the cusp between partnership and commitment for you. So that's where you're kind of being triggered. Let me see where it falls for her. Falls in her house of commitment as well. So, yeah, she's got a Gemini rising, and you both have Gemini rising according to the times you gave me. So that will mean a lot of similar energy. I mean, I'm not saying the charts are bad. I think you have a lot in common. It's just more, can you overcome the difference of, I really have a lot in common, actually. I'm just looking for moons. Where's that? So, yeah, her Venus is in Gemini, which can make her a little bit fickle in love. Not gonna kid you. Yeah. Yeah, but her Mars is on your Pluto in romance house. Pardon me?
She is flirtatious, yes.
Yeah. Well, I just want to warn you, she's also got Moon in Sagittarius and Pluto in Sagittarius. As much as you guys are connected, I don't know if she can commit to just you. Okay?
Yeah.
So that could be a problem.
Right.
You know, she really likes the energy of flirting and doesn't particularly want to be told that she can only be with one person. So, yeah. But other than that, I mean, if you want to hang out with her, she's got a lot of great energy. You guys are really good together as far as friendship and understanding each other. I can see why you're interested in attract.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, it's interesting. So has she shown an interest in going out with you?
So we've known each other for about a year. We work in the same building, and then she recently got moved into my office. She's in a committed relationship, but I just suspect that, you know, So I was like,
and that's why you're around, because that's how she is, honestly. She's always throwing it out there. What can I, you know, I'm pinging this guy and I'm pinging that guy, and it's in her chart, unfortunately. But I mean, you just kind of got caught in the flirtatious net. But there are some aspects with you too. But I would say if she's flirting with you and in a relationship, she'll be flirting with others in a relationship with you, if that's what you're looking for.
That's what I got. That is what I got. Thank you so much.
They don't change. You're welcome. All right.
You're the best.
To deliver that. I know. It feels so good when you flirt with somebody and it's like you're on the same wavelength and it's like, oh, this feels so good. But Gemini Sagittarius energy is historically not the committers of the zodiac. So, you know, if they do commit, there's usually, especially with Gemini, there's someone else around. You know, always someone else they're bringing. Yeah. Okay.
I'm so glad I got this. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, you take care, James. It's good talking to you again.
You too. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay dry down there in Miami. Okay, that's the show for the week, and thank you so much for listening. We will be talking to you again next week, so join us then. Take care. Thanks for stopping by AstroEnergy this week. If you would like to get a hold of Shelley Overton, you can get her at astrologerangel.com, on Facebook at AstroEnergy or Astrologer Angel. The music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com with additional music by Ironwood Rain. Check them out on the net at ironwoodrain.com. To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.